A conference under the banner of Defend Our Democracy campaign is kick-started in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni today. It's set to run for 2 days. And the main objective is democratic renewal and change. Just to speak about what's been happening in day one so far, I'm joined now by human rights activist, advocate Tseliso Thipanyane. He's also the Southern African Institute for Responsive and Accountable Governance chairperson. Advocate Thipanyane, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. And thank you for just coming out to talk to us from one of those discussions that are taking place. So far, how is the conference going in your view? Just an overriding question first.
Well, it's going quite well. I mean, there are over 100 NGOs gathered here today under the banner of the Defend Our Democracy campaign to look into, our democracy and the challenges and how we can actually have a better dispensation going forward. So it's actually quite exciting, and
Yeah, I thought that this afternoon you're having breakaway sessions and you're covering a huge range of key issues like making democracy work better, making the public service work for the benefit of all, political parties and public representation in parliament, building people's power, jobs, state capture and corruption, and also local government, preventing a complete collapse of the system. I mean, these are huge issues.
There are also very important issues for the future of our country and our democracy.
And do you think, is it just a discussion? I asked Nishan Bolton yesterday when I interviewed him ahead of this conference, whether it's just going to be another talk shop or are you going to be able to come up with possible solutions?
Well, we're going to come up with an action plan tomorrow to see what we can do as a collective to address many challenges facing our country. So, for example, I'm in the group now looking at the electoral system, and there's definitely a need to have a better system where politicians can be held to account. There's also the issue about Zondo Commission. What do you do with the Zondo Commission? The issues about local government, which is actually a big mess now, and how do we correct this? There's issues about unemployment in our country. There's issues of corruption, so many things, which undermine our democracy and basically deny our people, what they fought for a better country, better governance, jobs, minimizing poverty, and so forth. So, as I was saying, there are over 100 NGOs here which are committed basically to renew our democracy and make it what our people fought for and died for.
Yeah, if you are able to steady your device, that will be very helpful, Advocate Thipanyane. In a plenary discussions, I understand you were also looking at what are the main threats to our democracy. What's the overriding view of civil society organizations that are gathered there? What do they believe are the main threats to our democracy today?
Well, it's a failing state which is basically incapable of delivering the aspirations of our people, but also issues of corruption, issues of the massive local government, and the issue of electoral system. That, our electoral system is basically one of the biggest problems, that our politicians are not accountable to the people of this country, and that has to be addressed.
Yeah, and how for you will success look like come tomorrow? Will it be the practicability of your action plan?
That will definitely be that, as well as the commitment of all of us to ensure that, there is a better country tomorrow. And we are all committed here. We've taken that time from our work to be here for the next 2 days to plot as to how we can improve the challenges we're facing now in our country today. We look at the problems around ESCOM, SAA, the high levels of unemployment, poverty and corruption, but also more importantly, what do we do to ensure that the Zondo Commission recommendations are implemented so that we minimize the looting and abuse of state resources going forward?
Yeah, you said there are more than 100 civil society organizations that have gathered there today and tomorrow. Do you have a healthy presence of the youth? After all, it is their future that is at play, that is being threatened.
There is definitely a healthy presence of the youth. There's a council of churches. There are a number of NGOs, academics, who are all here to put our heads together to see what can we do. It actually reminds me of the days of UDF in 1983, When again we're meeting there in Mitchell's Plains, I was there as well to see how can we fight for a better South Africa going forward. And of course, UDF was a turning point as well in how we brought about many people to put more pressure on apartheid. So I think today and tomorrow, of course, another opportunity for us as 100 NGOs to sit down and see how can we fight for a better democracy? How do we address the wrong things which are undermining our democracy today?
Thank you very much. That's Advocate Tseliso Thipanyane. He's a chairperson of the Southern African Institute for Responsive and Accountable Governance. Just giving us a sense of day one of this conference under Defend Our Democracy banner that's taking place. Its main theme, of course, is about democratic renewal and change.